Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. If you guys have been sticking around my channel, you guys know that I've been doing a lot of reviews on like WandaVision. I have that series going on. I've been reviewing a lot of films like from Sundance. I had a whole Sundance series. I'm watching Nomadland right now. I'm a big lover of movies, but I'm also a huge lover of comic book movies, whether that's Marvel with WandaVision obviously or DC, and I am very, very excited for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I was not part of the whole Snyder cuts, giant, uprising that happened to get them to release the Snyder Cut. And although I was, kind of interested in what that could have possibly been, I wasn't exactly sure if it even existed, but it does, and it's coming out in just a few weeks. So I want to review all the DC Cinematic Universe movies that I have not reviewed thus far on my channel. I've reviewed a lot of stuff. I have reviews up for Shazam and Aquaman and Birds of Prey, but some of the earlier stuff I have not reviewed. So I'm going to be doing a series from Man of Steel all the way up to, yes, I will watch and review the original, Justice League cut, the Whedon cut that happened. I will be watching that and reviewing that as well. But everything leading up to it, starting with, of course, Man of Steel, which I absolutely love this film. And I also just watched the original Superman, the 1978 Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve, and Margot Kidder Superman movie, which this I guess will kind of be a double review for both of them because I think they're fairly similar in some ways, but obviously extremely vastly different in terms of the philosophy of Superman. So let's just jump right into Man of Steel with Henry Cavill as Superman. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I knew the news story just came out that they're probably going to do a reboot with J.J. Abrams' production company. I don't think he's directing. I don't really want him to direct it because obviously he's kind of hit or miss sometimes. I love Super 8s, but Rise of Skywalker is kind of missed. But I love The Force Awakens, but he has other films. Cloverfield I think is pretty good, but I am interested in seeing what they are going to do with the character going into the future. I'm happy that they're doing a black actor as Superman, but going back to the previous iteration, Henry Cavill, I loved him in this film. I thought he had such a good, just character in this film because I've never been a big fan of Superman in general. I think he's too goody two shoes. He's too powerful. His only one weakness being kryptonite is a little cheesy. I thought he was just a corny character, and when you watch the original Superman movie, that movie's extremely cheesy and corny, but it's 1978 and it's a lot of fun. This movie took Superman in a completely different direction, and honestly, this is the only version of Superman that I truly love because it really brought him down to earth. It really made him human for me because he was flawed. He had he had so much conflict within his mind of his two warring fathers that is kind of like the angel and the devil on his shoulder, pushing him in different directions. And those are the aspects of this film that I absolutely love, is the character stuff of not only of this being an origin story for Superman, but really it's an origin story for Clark Kent, which I think a lot of people were not expecting from this film. You go ahead and watch the 1978 Superman film and you see, Margot Kidder and Christopher Reeve doing their thing as Clark Kent and Lois Lane, and how clumsy Clark Kent is and how, fumbling around he is working at the Daily Planet, and how fun that entire sequence is. I love that film for scenes like that and scenes with him and Lois doing their thing throughout the entire movie, whether it's Superman or whether it's Clark Kent. And that is awesome. That is great. But to get to the point where, you have this person, KAL-EL, this alien from another planet, growing into himself and figuring out what he's going to be and what kind of man he's going to be. And that's the ideas explored in Man of Steel. And I think my biggest issue with this movie is also how extra this movie is and how extra Zack Snyder tends to be with all of his films, which I think for the most part in this film, it works really well because a lot of the action scenes have a sense of energy behind them and a lot of the emotional moments are really impactful, but every single moment in this movie has to be the most epic version of that moment it could possibly be. And I have a weird criticism for this film that, just bear with me for a second, guys, but if this was based on a true story. Now, again, stay with me here. If Man of Steel was based on a true story and this was a biopic, it has a lot of the same flaws that a lot of biopics have, which is kind of just going through the beats of somebody's life and not really diving into the moments in between those beats. You have those giant moments in this character's life when his father died, or like when, he first learned that he was an alien, that he was adopted, or when he's first getting used to these powers. And all these moments are fantastic and wonderful. That scene where he's a kid and he's starting to see inside of his teacher, his x-ray vision is coming to form, and he runs and he hides in the janitor closet, and all those students are talking trash about him outside of the room, and he can hear everything, and he's starting to shut down, and his mom of course comes up and calms him down. That scene is so good. I love that. There are some great Superman and Clark Kent moments throughout this entire movie, but they just seem like they're the most important moments ever with how it's directed. And it's a style that is either hit or miss. That's why a lot of people don't like this movie, because it does take some swings and it does take some different directions with this character, especially with Lois Lane. And I think Amy Adams is a fantastic actress. I don't think she's as good of a Lois Lane as Margot Kidder was, because she was just fantastic in the 1978 Superman. But she's still really entertaining in this movie. And for one thing, I always thought it was really dumb, the fact that Lois Lane didn't realize that Superman was Clark Kent just because of a pair of glasses. And yes, the mannerisms are completely different, so you do buy that aspect of it. But still, I mean, come on. It's such a leap of faith that you need to make for that. And the fact that she was able to, investigate this enough and figure out who he was before he became Clark Kent, really, yes, that was his name. But really, up until that point, until the end of the film, he isn't really anything yet. He's not really Kal-El, he's not Clark Kent, and he's not Superman yet. And by the end of the film, he's all three of them. And of course, let's talk about Michael Shannon as Zod. And I haven't actually seen Superman 2 or the Donner cut of Superman 2, which comment down below what you think I should watch first. I'm kind of confused as to if I should just jump right into the Donner cut, and I know the ending is a little bit mixed because they were never able to actually finish the film because it's not a Snyder cuts type of situation. But I'm interested to see what you guys think, so I don't have anything to compare Zod or Michael Shannon's Zod to, but I thought he was fantastic in this film. He's very threatening, and the way, again, that's part of Zack Snyder's style of every moment needs to be the most epic moment ever. And so when they're being frozen and sent up to the Phantom Zone, he's like screaming at the top of his lungs that he will find him, and he says it like 8 times. But I love it. He's chewing up the scenery. He's really diving into this character, and he's having a lot of fun with it. I love Michael Shannon in this movie for the pure fact that he's just extremely threatening, and just every moment he's on screen, you are actually afraid of him. He's very threatening to Clark Kent and to Superman because, this is a force that he's never dealt with. And of course, the Man of Steel lovers who absolutely love this film, including me, the fact of defending the ending of all this destruction is because it is really the first fight Superman has ever been in. I kind of agree with that because, yes, there's a lot of destruction, and honestly, it goes a little bit too far. I think you could cut out 10 minutes of the action towards the end of this film, and it would have been even better because it's just not hammering you over the head of it. Sometimes when you have a million epic moments, none of those moments really truly feel epic. They just start to feel normal, and I think that's what kind of happens towards the end of this film. But it still is very entertaining watching Superman action like this because we never really got it before. And so the first time that we get to see some really intense, fast-paced, and just energy injected action, testosterone filled action with Superman was awesome. I love some of the action scenes in this movie, and there's a moment where Zod is using his laser eyes and he cuts the ground out of Superman and he just kind of starts floating there. There's a lot of great little moments like that makes this movie just feel special to me. And so yes, you get the heart and you get the goofy and the fun aspect and the purely entertaining aspect from the 1978 Superman movie, which I do actually extremely love after watching that for the first time. I think both of them have a different philosophy because it's just this version of Superman is extremely different. And that, again, that warring aspect of the fatherhood in this film is one of my favorite parts with Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner. These two actors portraying these two characters was very interesting because their philosophies of, I guess, JOR-EL saying that these people will think you're a god, and once you release yourself into the world and let yourself be known, and having his, I guess, spirit or consciousness guiding him throughout the entire movie was really great. I love Russell Crowe in this movie, and of course Kevin Costner having the idea of, if you reveal yourself now, what would the world think of you? And I think that's the philosophy difference, is in the world of the 1978 Superman, everybody just kind of accepts Superman and thinks that he's amazing and he's a brand new superhero and it's a comic book world and everything's great. But in this movie, it takes like an alien invasion route where there's a middle section of this film where it straight up feels like Signs for a moment, where Clark Kent is on the Kent farm and he sees the news story on the TV and he sees the ship floating over Earth, and it's actually really unsettling. It's very well directed. This entire sequence, again, one of my favorites in the movie. And this whole alien invasion storyline of will the world accept an alien living amongst them that looks like them, that you never really know who it is until they put on the cape and are flying around, and are they a threat? What is that whole thing about this? And I just think that this movie does a great job of setting up and building up this character and that conflict within him that really brought him down to earth. And so that is why I really, really enjoy Man of Steel. I don't think it's the best DCEU movie. I think that title belongs to Shazam right here, which is what I have a poster of. But I do love this film. I want to hear what you guys thought in the comments down below as well. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got to the end of this review without mentioning the Hans Zimmer score for this movie. And John Williams' original Superman score is great, and there's a good mashup of the two, but this Man of Steel score is honestly one of my favorite movie scores of all time. I was playing Rocket League one time with my brother, and I just had some movie music on shuffle in the background, and the Man of Steel score kicked on, and I started playing like crazy, and I started screaming and yelling because it pumped me up so much. The Man of Steel score is one of the best musical scores in any movie ever. It's just that good. Whenever I hear that theme throughout the entire film, when he's first flying, or when you get the "What are you gonna do when you're not saving the world" song, which is one of my favorites of all time. I love Hans Zimmer's score for this movie, and it could not have been missed in this review because it's honestly probably my favorite part of it. Even though I do love this movie a lot, the score transcends this entire movie up to another level. Are you guys excited for the Snyder Cut? I definitely am. I really want to see Henry Cavill have one more swing at it if he can't move on within the larger DCEU. Unfortunately, it's not looking likely that he will be coming back, but for the movies that we got him for, this is definitely my favorite version of the Henry Cavill Superman that we got. Still excited to see him and what they do with it in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So thanks guys for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel. I have a review out for Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition. I'm not going to rewatch the theatrical because that movie, it's just not good. But the Ultimate Edition I think is very entertaining. So definitely subscribe to my channel to see that review later this week. I'll have 2 reviews every week of this whole DCEU Revisited series. So thanks guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you all in my next one.